Hey guys, I hope you guys have been having a great time doing our art videos. Today we're going to continue with Leonardo da Vinci. One of the things that he is very famous for is the sketches that he made that have had such a big impact on the medical world. Leonardo da Vinci, when he was alive, there was not a whole lot known about the human body. As far as the internal aspects of it, the organs and the way it's made and the way things function. If you'll remember, the Catholic Church was one of the big, one of the main power of that day. Even the kings and queens would have to have permission from the Catholic Church to do a lot of things and to make a lot of choices. So Leonardo da Vinci asked the Catholic Church if he would be able to, after somebody had passed away, if he would be able to do an autopsy of sorts and look at their bodies and make some sketches to help us better understand how the body works and how it functions and the different parts of it. It's something that hadn't really been done before. It had been done to animals, but never to people. And so the church did grant him that. And I think he was able to dissect 32 bodies, I think. And his sketches are so intricate and so detailed that they're even still used in medical books today, over 500 years later. So he made huge advancements for the medical world. So today we're not going to cut open any people, but we are going to do some detailed sketches of the insides of some other things. So if you have something that is broken, you can use that and you can take it apart and use that for your sketch. If you do not have anything, then you can use some fruit or some other object that you can cut open and look at the insides of it. So here's the thing though. You don't want any of you guys to go find something and break it and then tell your mom that you needed to do it for art. Please find something that is already broken and ask your parents' permission before taking it apart. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few of his pictures that he sketched. Real quick here. Whoa. Let's see. Okay, so you can see here is a sketch of the skeleton, of the skeletal system. Here is a sketch of some of the muscles in the body. Here is a very detailed sketch of the heart. So those are just a few of his sketches. In these, he has labeling on them and writing, talking about what he found. That is all written in that mirror writing. So he wrote left to right, the type that you have to hold to the mirror to see what it says. I think you guys learned about that in your history lesson. Okay, so so all you're gonna need today is a pencil with an eraser, a drawing book or a piece of paper, and then your object. So I am going to use an apple because I don't have couldn't find anything that was already broken. Let's see. Let me cut this apart first. So I'm going to take it and cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut it in one of those halves in quarters. And then I'm going to cut one of those quarters in half this way. And I'm going to do a few different sketches so that you can see all the different ways. Okay, so I've got my sketch paper here. Let's see. Hope you guys can see that really well. Here is my half, and that's what I'm gonna start with. So you're gonna start, so I've got this facing you. I'm gonna draw this upside down, so hopefully you're able to see it well. If you don't have something and you wanna do this apple with me, that's totally fine, you can do that. So it's kind of like the top of a heart on both sides here. And my drawing, my sketch, I'm going to sketch it light with short strokes. But then I'll come in and darken it a little bit so you can see it. So I'm going to try and do it to the accurate size, because when you're trying to sketch something for reference, that is an important piece of that. So I'm going to try to keep it as close as I can to accurate size. Let's see. So I'm going to come around here. And if you can see, my apple is pretty close to this size. So I'm going to come in here and darken it so you guys can see it better. Hopefully you guys can see this. What is the difference between, or what is a sketch? Like, what's the difference between a sketch and like a drawing or a portrait or a finished product? A sketch is going to be not as perfectly done. Like I could go back and erase all the lines if I needed to, but I don't know that I will. So this is my first step. I've got the size of my apple kind of down. So this is where the stem would be. So there's kind of just like a line that goes, if you can see, it goes right from the top all the way through to the bottom. So I'm going to add that line in. And it's going to be kind of a lighter line because it's light inside here. And then I am going to draw the stem in, even though it is on the other piece, just so that I have it for reference. So here's my stem. Okay, now you can see by looking at it, this part right here. So I'm going to draw that in to my apple right behind here, and it's not really perfectly straight. And to show that, and there's another one at the bottom, to show that it is not the same color as this, because I'm doing a black and white sketch, I'm going to put some cross hatching in. So hatching is when you do lines like this. Cross hatching is when you come back over and do lines going the other direction. So I'm just going to put those in to show that it is not the same color as the apple. So now you can see that is where the apple is. Okay, so I'm going to take this now, and if you can see it go, I've got one that goes out that way and one that goes out that way. So I'm going to draw those in. And it kind of has like a hollower spot right here. And then comes up and there's a little dark spot here that is kind of at a triangle, has a triangle thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take these, and you can, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can. It has kind of a line that comes around almost to where these peak. So I'm going to draw that in, and it comes up to the top here and joins in. Now this line is going up a little bit steeper than this one. So I'm going to draw that in here. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. This one's not quite as dark on this side. So I may not want to draw it quite as dark. And it's not exactly the same shape. So there are those. Okay, now, oh, my seed popped right out. I'm going to draw my seeds. So you can see right here, it's not all the way cut open. So it's a little more faint through here. You can see the seed, and then these seeds are actually sprouting. So if I take this, I can kind of make this skinny part that is the seed, and then come around and shadow it, but not quite as dark. So here's the seed part. And then this one shows the entire seed, and it shows it coming, the apple sprouting. The seed is open, and we're going to actually take that out in a minute, and we are going to sketch that. Let's see. And try and keep it the best you can to size. I know that can be kind of hard. I'm going to take it and make this, it doesn't quite go out that way, make this little sprout. And it's a little bit thicker up here, so I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. Okay, so here's my seed. Okay, and then this comes out, you can see the little pocket that holds the seed comes out a little bit more. And so I'm just going to faintly draw that in behind it. Okay, so this is my apple. And I maybe even have it not quite as round as it should be over here. So I'm just going to round that out a little bit more and erase this part here. So here's my cross section. Okay, so I am going to label this here, and I'm going to color my stem in since it is dark as well. And I can kind of shade here where it is a little bit darker. See here? It's a little bit darker, so I'm going to shade those spots a little bit. Okay, so that is my apple. That is would be a cross section of my apple. Now, if I look at this one, my quarter section, it's not going to be quite as big. So I'm going to take it, and if I'm looking at it from the top, it's still going to have kind of that heart shape, but they're going to be a little bit thinner sections. And I still want my height to be good, so I'm going to still kind of try and make that accurate here. And still come around. So see how this one's not quite as wide as this. So I'm going to come around here and darken up these lines for you guys. I'm going to put my stem in here. Put that in. Just, okay. So then I'm going to make this line down the middle, just like on the other one. And I still need to come across here, and this one kind of goes down a little bit and then up. So it's a little bit higher on this side. And then I'm going to do the same crosshatch. To give that the shading. And this one has a little bump right there. Okay, so now I'm going to, this part starts up a lot higher than the other one. So I'm going to take that and draw in those, that stem portion, or not stem, the end of the apple. Okay, same thing on this part. I'm going to do the little, that one goes up a little bit steeper. This one comes out a little bit more, down and out. This side has a little hole right here. And this part is really shaded because you can see the seed, but the seed's not exposed. This side, I'm going to do the same thing. And go down and around. But this side, you can see a portion of the seed here. It looks like it was cut when I cut the apple. So I'm going to draw that seed in. And it just has a little piece of that coming out here. So I'm going to shade in my seed. Oh, I did too much though because I forgot it was cut open. So I'm going to shade in the portion that is exposed here. And then there's just a little bit of the seed that had sprouted that's just coming out. And then this portion here is where the seed would lay. Then you can see there's another little line that is coming off and it just kind of stops. So I'm going to draw that in. All right, so here is my quarter section. Now I'm going to do this part right here, which is an 1/8. It's where I cut my quarter right here. So if I take it, I'm going to go kind of like that for this bottom part. And then it goes up here. And that might be a little bit steep. So I'm going to do it a little more shallow here. Okay, so here's this. And you can see here, these lines are kind of right there. So I'm going to lightly put those in. They're kind of light. And my seed here is, you can see the seed sideways. And then it is also sprouting. These apples must be old. And so it kind of curls around like, curls around on there. It just fell out actually. Okay. So I've got that. Okay. So that's that section. And then last, I want to draw, whoop, it came right off. I want to draw this seed. Okay. So I'm going to first draw the brown part. And I'm going to color that in dark since it is a little bit dark. And then I'm going to go lighter as I come up here. And this seed I'm drawing a little bit bigger than what the actual seed is. And then you can see that this seed has sprouted. So see that sprout coming out here. So I'm gonna do that part as well. Okay, so that's my seed. And then if I wanted to, I could go through and I could label these parts. So seed, sprout, it's really hard to write upside down, guys. And I could do an arrow that points to that. So you can go through and label each of these parts. Now, if you have, if you decided to do something that was broke, you may have a lot more parts than what I had here with this apple, and that's awesome. Just practice sketching that. The more you sketch, the better artist you'll become. You'll be able to do a lot more by looking at the shapes of things, and the more you practice, the better you'll become. So I hope that you guys have had fun doing this art, and I'm so excited to see you guys next week at the Teachers Parade. Can't wait. See ya.